personal and the official Osis page. We're about to be live on YouTube. It's loading up, and IG is getting activated right now as well.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna share this with some people. Yeah, man, things been going like and we ain't even got started yet. Okay, one sec. I'm
Hmm.
just sharing this here.
Okay, we are streaming on YouTube, and we will be streaming on Instagram in 30 seconds.
Nice. Okay. Hey guys.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to some people. It's like 2 a.m. in Australia right now.
Oh, it is?
Sweet. Yes, we are live on Instagram now as well.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah, man. So yeah, we this is this stream. What day is it? It's yeah, we're closing the first 2 months of listing since we listed on centralized exchanges, since we spread our wings to the world. Pretty cool. And it's funny, I was just looking um as of this morning. Joel, what's IBC group again? Like we spoke to them, they wanted to work, and then they disappeared in like a few days before we listed in March, and they reached out to me today. But
IBC Group.
yeah.
IBC Group is the company, it's the team behind the biggest Twitter spaces in the world. I don't know how many of you people know Mario Nawfal. Mario Nawfal. Um, yeah, the dude, he's got a bored ape, of course, and he looks like this. He was just on Twitter Spaces with Elon Musk yesterday. Roundtable Live.
Ah, yeah, yeah. So these are the guys that we spoke to a week before we got on. Um and then they were like, "Oh, like after due diligence, whatever, you don't have the criteria or whatever." Like that was the kind of vibes to work with. And then this morning, I wake up, 5 a.m. is morning now for us. But he's like, "Hey, wanted to catch up because we have an OTC offer in Osis with a sizable discount to attract and an attractive unlocks only for strategic large KOLs. Is that of any interest to you? Would like to have like, huh?" um, and why I bring that up is because while there's a small number of people, I think, that are like very fixated on fluctuations, there's something much bigger happening like behind the scenes every single day, that is like quite exciting, which is people, institutions, like corporations, um, eye test, logic test from all these people are sitting there and saying, this company is valuable. Um, and I'm gonna put some perspective for y'all that Nils actually shared earlier, and because I don't want to stay on I don't want to stay in the loop of talking about price action because it's not what OSIS stands for even at all. It stands for people and numbers as far as and that doesn't lie. Um, but the amount of billionaires that are under 30 in the world that exist, it's 15 of them that we know about. And once OSIS blows up to the point where it's at $50 or something, between 20 and $50, that number changes to 17 billionaires that are under 30. And two of them would be Jalal and I, and we went to high school together. The chances of something like that happening, as far as like the odds in the universe, are probably, you could probably get shocked by lightning 1,000 times in the same hour. So it's like, what are we talking? For the people who are freaking out, like, come on, chill out. We have to look at this from this perspective. Companies in the first 2 months that have listed and went public, um, that are utility, they typically list with hundreds of millions of dollars backing them, or billions of dollars, like ICP and other platforms like that. Um, Osis, we listed with a couple $100,000. We'll keep it a buck with y'all. In 60 days, you could probably count on your hand the amount of companies that were able to even get due. I'm not bragging. I'm just being really just straightforward, real with you guys. You could probably count on your hand the amount of companies that were able to do something like that with $250,000 and get to a $500 million valuation in its first 3 weeks.
A good example, a good
Yeah,
comparison. So we work with, and we know some of the teams behind the biggest meme coins that are out today.
yeah,
And meme coins put in 500,000 to $1 million before listing just to market, just to do marketing. Well, that's really all they do because they don't actually have anything else going for them. It's a popularity contest.
yeah. Yeah, we know the ins and outs of what's happening, and so do they. So these people do their due diligence, we do our due diligence. They look into what happened and the tools that we had at our disposal. And this is why all the partnerships are showing up right now. This is why, like, every other institution and every other individual, or like person or whatever, is like showing up to talk to us to be like, we want to be a part of this now. Um, is because of this. But the main reason actually is because that due diligence is actually respected by looking at the amount of holders in a project, relative to what's going on that side of things, and the optical side of like what's happening with the currency's fluctuations, and also what are they making? Are they having any revenue generation events? Meaning, are they creating products that have value that people want? Um, Magic Square showing that a bunch of people are tokenizing was something that really, really, really helped us out in terms of having other conversations with other platforms. But again, tokenization is so early that the traditional space doesn't understand that as much. So that's why the announcement Jalal made yesterday about Vault I think that probably had a lot to do with this recent thing with them reaching out, honestly. But we'll see when we talk to them Wednesday. Um, ICV group, but is it IBC or IC? I always say the wrong thing, man. Um,
IBC, IBC.
yeah, sorry if you guys are watching, but anyway, so for us, the exciting prospect for Osis now, it has always been about the fact that when others and ourselves do our due diligence on the amount of people that are around here, you come to realize that not only did Osis get to where it got to so far with like six figures, which is nothing in the crypto space, um, it only has 2,000 holders, but it's not going to stay that way.
Nope.
I have 50 times that on my own page. Another company with like 100,000 holders, like in one side of things, is I think Tron, but they have 100 million people are actually using Tron every day. By the way, Tron is a utility token that is a partner, has more it has more holders than like all the major crypto like meme coins combined. Like Doge has 6.9 million, Shiba has like 1.1 million. You know what I mean? Like Pepe has like a 250,000 people. I haven't run a single ad yet because we're waiting, and we're building right now. We're biding our time for the when we get on Uniswap, because now we can we can offer ourselves to literally the whole world, and continue to push the value that we have as far as the things that we're building constantly every single day. And so as these other partners and these other platforms and stuff are looking, they're not looking at it like I'm trying to get in where I can get out. They're not. That's not what's happening. That's what's happening with like individuals coming in that are trying to get a quick profit off of Osis, which is that they can do that if they want. It's actually about like, yo, we want to lock arms with something that's going to be a part of like the future of the tokenization space in general, but also who's going to have the massive adoption of that later on. This is like the long term at question. Let me see. Is this I'm just going to read some questions. Would you mind elaborating on Tron partnership? Like, how is that going to look like? Jalal, are we allowed to do that yet?
Well, I'll speak on it a little bit because we are under NDA with
Yeah.
Tron, but it's like what Chris was saying. Tron is so successful, being they actually have they're in third place for the like most, they call it total value locked, behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. What people don't realize is Tron is actually in third place in terms of actual like utility and total value locked. How much money people have, like how much people have built in their ecosystem, and what they're always looking for is new projects that are going to fit their future plans. And so one of these things is tokenization. They want to be, they want to lead in the tokenization realm in terms of more tokenizing financial assets, which is what they've experienced so far and they're so successful. And that's exactly where our partnership started. They
Oh, Jalal, your voice is cutting out quite a bit.
build and to allow people to build in on network. Can you hear me?
Jalal, I don't know if it's me or you. Guys, can you speak on if his connection is good? I think you're back now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, your connection tripped out. I think you're back.
Okay. Okay. um, Tron is looking for partners to build the future with. Osis is one of these partners. They want more people to be in the Tron network and tokenizing real world assets in their network. So that's where we come together. Uh, we cannot talk about the details of the partnership just yet, but people should know that it's more than a handshake.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I mean, I think a lot of people already knew that, but now you know more. I just didn't want to jump in too far into that. I don't want to loop. This is the thing. We don't want to loop anymore in the same conversations over and over again because that's not what's happening in like our everyday. Our day to day is a lot different. And so we're trying to open you guys up to what's actually going on. Um, this last week, we've been waking up at like there's been people booking our schedules to where last week been waking up at 5 to get on a call at 6 to then take a nap, wake up at 6:30 to get on another call at 7:30 to then get on another call at 9, and then it just keeps going. That's what's been that's what the result of the last 2 months has been since we listed is like we actually had to reject an offer for $500,000 yesterday, I think it was. Um, because it didn't fit the needs of the community. It just didn't. And basically what I'm saying is it's people wanted to buy into Osis, but to have a liquidating bot come in and like sell it. And we're like, no, I mean people they don't want that shit and we don't want it. Because y'all don't want that, we don't want it. You know what I mean? So it's like people are putting money on the table right now, every single day. That's what's happening on our side. And so we're just trying to make sure, like right now, that like everything is in line with the values of like strength in numbers, value, like long-term value. We need to stay steadfast on that because a person's gonna crash like burn as fast as they will crash. On like looking at the immediate terms. Look at Jalal's schedule. It's like yeah, Moonstruck. He's meditating, but I mean it's a lot going on for him. He's not I have my schedule as well. Justin has his schedule, Vanessa has hers, Luigi has his. Like the whole team is doing a bunch of different things every day. Um, but like if we talk about the next moves, what we basically did last week, what we chose to set up based on everything that was going on was to have like a preliminary like the DEX listing with a partner called Yellow. That one's kind of like some like an exhibition listing, but it's still important because it's a big deal, like to have them there and to create a scenario where there's a bunch of people that like have incentive to hold Osis, right? And so they do, those people in that community, and that's those are people that are not like 2 seconds. I'm do this thing in 2 seconds and then leave in 2 seconds. These are people that are like trying to be here in the long run. So that's a slow cook thing. So that's starting next week. We're gonna have a bunch more action from those people. Um, Same thing with Angelo in that raise. It's people that are coming in, and we already communicated our terms. We're not trying to do an OTC situation with like short term people either. And so the trade off for this is people come in and takes a little more time. We can renegotiate terms. Boom, they come in. So as all of this is being set up, we're saying we want to get on Uniswap. Why Uniswap? Uniswap has 65% of the entire decentralization market. We want to go into being decentralized. Why we didn't do that before is because if we did it in the very beginning, then we wouldn't be able to see where we are now, due to all the people that have bought in the very beginning. So that's basically what's happening on this side. Osis is like where it is now is like I would say kind of like Bitcoin in like 2009, 2014, like brand new thing in the space, brand new thing out there. So like we have the pleasure to be able to like turn those numbers from 2000 to 4000. I'm going to start running ads soon. We'll let you know when we do as well. But that's going to be once we go decentralized, we're going to start running some ads. We're going to have some promotional content. Maybe you guys that are watching this right now, if you want to see some snippets of some of the videos we're going to put out, feel free. But yeah, Joel, if you want to show them something, you can. I'm okay with that.
Sure. Let's look into excuse me, a couple different things. For you want to show the ad first or yesterday's video focusing on Osis Vault? Which one would you like to announce first?
I mean, Osis Vault will be its entire conversation in itself, right?
Yeah, this is true. Okay, so let's pull this up.
Yeah. What's good, everybody? What's good? Tommaso, an iPhone joined.
Let me know if you guys can see this.
So this is just a green screen right now. This is gonna be something else, but you could probably tell this is not my face. uh, only play a little bit of it.
You're a beneficiary of the past. From the struggles of relics that will never be forgotten, our loyalties must transcend our race, our tribe, our class, and our nation. This means we must develop a world perspective.
It's never been a better time to fight for what's right. If we don't today, it won't matter if we're black, white, red, brown, or yellow. We'll all be picking cotton by tomorrow.
I'll pause it right there.
Yeah, Trivy. But anyway, there's gonna be music, all this other stuff. We're gonna work on the voice model and everything, but we got some stuff, and the background's gonna be different too. But gonna take something like this, and then zoom it in, do all this stuff, and then create promotional content, and bring a bunch of people to Uniswap. The same thing we did before. So again, there's only 2,000 people that are holding. We're gonna turn that to 4. Imagine what happens when there's 4 to 8 to 12 to 20,000 to 50. That's what we're looking at. The value, not the other stuff. The other stuff comes with the value. That we need to I'm saying we got to like re-engineer like the thought process, because that's what got us to even get to this point in the beginning, was the value from the very beginning, not the day to day.
Let's
So
let's do this. Let's get a little bit of perspective, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. What it looks like to look at a meme coin versus a utility token. So let's see. Dogecoin is okay. I'm gonna show you what Dogecoin looks like. The biggest. Would you guys say Dogecoin is the biggest, or would you say Shiba is the biggest?
Just Dogecoin for sure.
All right, let's see this. Okay, so Dogecoin, we're looking at 6.9 million holders, okay? Despite its high volatility and unlimited supply, it's still crazy, right? So they've got 6.9 million supporters. This is what it looks like. These meme coins basically put their entire budget into marketing, and so people are very, very like you just see it so much. Now, if you take a moment and compare that to a project that is purely utility based, like Tron, this is what Tron looks like. 200 million holders, 200 million person community. Let's zoom out of here a little bit. So the total accounts, but if you look at them at the beginning, Tron actually launched in 2017, but it looks like even 1 year later, they had 3,800 accounts in 1 year. This is Tron we're talking about. Tron is the third largest blockchain in terms of total value locked in the world after Bitcoin and Ethereum. Tron is number 3. There's over $22 billion locked into the Tron ecosystem at any given moment in time. And 1 year after launch, they were at 3,800 people. And then they grew to 735,000 people. And then they continued to grow and grow and grow, and good things take time. 2 years after launching, they got to 3-4 million people.
Well, at that point, they're already a unicorn. They were a unicorn at like 4,000 people, I'm pretty sure.
Correct. They were
So
unicorn back then. By unicorn, he means a billion-dollar company. Now, Tron kept building on its value and being useful to people, so it ended up getting to being a 200+ million person place. And one of the biggest contributors to this is the fact that USDT tokenized using Tron, and a lot of people use USDT TRX. Therefore, like, Tron is the ecosystem which another project tokenized in. Therefore, Tron is massive. This is the same model that Osis is building on, like this exact same thing. But they only have like 2-3 different big things that are in the Tron ecosystem that are making it so massive. And that's interesting to me. They've only tokenized a handful of things, but they want to because they've seen so much success. They want to tokenize more things. Now let's take a little glance at what Polygon is like. And this is a little bit of a painting a picture for you for what is going to happen next on what Osis is doing with how like we're going to grow. So Matic on its own network, right? Its own network. The smart contract address is 0x000 because it was the very, very first origin block of the Matic network. They have 96,000 holders. This is how large the Matic community is.
I have a bigger community than Matic. That's crazy.
Now, what Polygon did to obviously get to the next level is they listed on Uniswap.
Yeah.
But Uniswap specifically is an Ethereum world. Ethereum is a different network than Polygon. How does a company go from here, this network, to that network? And it's by doing something called building a bridge. We're working in collaboration with a pretty big company. I don't know if we're allowed to mention it explicitly just yet.
What does it start with?
It starts with a chain.
Yeah, we don't talk about that yet.
It starts with chain. So yeah. Osis and this company are working together to do something called CCIP, cross-chain interoperability protocol. And this allows Osis token to go from being on the Polygon scan or the Polygon world into the Ethereum world. When Polygon did this, this is what it looks like on Ether. When Polygon listed in Uniswap, they went from that many holders to this many holders. Polygon has more holders in the Ethereum ecosystem, which is the largest one next to Bitcoin, than in their own world. Like in their own home turf, they've got more people in the Ethereum world holding Matic tokens in the Ethereum network, which is crazy because Matic is a purely utility token that's used for gas fees. They're holding it in ETH, and there's 600,000 plus people doing it there. This is just how much bigger the space in Ethereum is. There is a total value locked of, I believe, $9 billion in the Polygon world. There's a total value locked of 21 billion in the Tron world, which is third place. TVL in Ethereum.
Yeah, 65.
So 65 billion. So you can see the list right here. Tron is second place. BNB is third place, but that's $1.7 trillion in volume. This most of this, more than 65% of this is going through Uniswap, which is like magnitudes larger than Binance even.
Yeah, so our plan, so this is what we're doing. If you guys want to understand what's going on and where the priorities are lie for like long term and like just like expansive growth for the platforms, is we're focusing on which Jalal is going to touch on in a moment with the video he made on like revenue generation events, meaning like value assets, like for example, what Ethereum, Tron, BNB, even Arbitrum and like Base and other platforms are like they have things that people. I mean, even Solana has like a base model for like revenue generation. But anyway, we're focusing on revenue generation events because we have many. But in order to do this, we need to raise capital, right? So we're raising capital. We made sure to list on centralized exchanges in March that was because public y'all wanted us to do it, and we'd said let's do it, let's get on these centralized exchanges, we have these ones available. There's a lot of pressure on us to do it, but we knew that we had to listen, and so that's what we did. But now it's raised enough capital. Most platforms like us, they come into this world with millions and millions of dollars. Now this is being offered to us, so now negotiations start. We're just wrapping up a lot of these conversations. Boom, we raise the required capital, and then we finish building the other things that we haven't just bootstrapped, which a lot of the things that we've been working on we have been bootstrapping. And then once that's there, we decide, hey, let's get on Uniswap. The date for Uniswap is it's contingent on our marketing strategy. So there's a few ideas. I won't share the idea until maybe Wednesday. If we decide to potentially go that route, and I want to communicate that with the community because it's a very, very crazy idea, but we need to make sure that it makes sense. And then the other idea is essentially, we raise enough to where we have the liquidity to support, and then we put ourselves, and then we put ourselves into that place. So that's exactly what Monk is saying, for example, is we'll get more strength on Uniswap, but it's not a matter of the fluctuations right now. It's a matter of the long term. We need more people. And so if you're going to stay in a centralized exchange, you're going to be getting the wrong people all the time, because centralized exchanges charge a fee and support the fees through a person having to list in a way that gets meme coin people and fast cash people to be the primary buyers. But that's not how it works on Uniswap. It's very different there, and it's very different on QuickSwap. And so we're putting our ducks in a row, and we have to do it methodically, just as we've always done. For those who've been holding for the last 2 years, you know that now that we're listed, we don't just rush to do it in a couple days. That's just not proper business, and it's not intelligent, especially with the fact that we are getting calls every single day with people offering us money now. Now we just have to make sure that we do it right with the right terms and everything else. So that we will not budge on the pace. If you when you slow down, things move faster. So just know that there's a reason we haven't run ads yet, and we can, and there's a reason we're speaking about Uniswap in the way that you're seeing it. There's a reason why we're confident, and one of the main reasons is because we only have 2,000 holders. We've done the numbers thing before. We've turned 2,000 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 50 many times, Jalal and I. And so it's not out of the norm for us to say that this is a very, very exciting time. We have the dominoes are set. We're gonna go like this. So that's about to happen again. And so again, this last week, it's been like wake up at 5 again, boom, get on these calls. A lot of them are not even ones that we're initiating. I mean, but we are going to work. Justin, for example, is one of those people on our team that's been getting on a lot of calls, right? To shill, to get us in the right situations with the right people. And that's just not going to stop. We're not stopping. Even prior to Osis being a thing, like I had to like walk 10 miles a day to just like see if I could get a deal. This is the type of people you're working with. Like we're not in that situation anymore. Or I mean, I'm not. I can't speak for sure, but we don't just give up. That we're like it. We're literally in the best place we could be in terms of the value of what our platform like has. Like people are here. They're more the other platforms that ignored us before we listed are more present as of this last week than ever before. We don't get ignored anymore when we talk to a bigger company. We get responses. That's what you know. That's what you're seeing now. And that's what for those who might not be tuning in every day or checking in on us, that might not be what you end up seeing. And so the only place that you can go to for reference is like these little exchanges that we get on, right? But that's not the indicator of a successful platform. Tron was like 3 cents for forever, but it was garnering billions of dollars for its community. That's what was happening. It was just slow cooking, and here it is now. So that's where we're in the same
11
position.
cents.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, forget that. That's what I'm saying.
Forget it.
Like the
Value generation.
valuation is going to be a direct cause of community accruing, and that's what we got to do it the right way. So we have a book that we're putting out. Vault is being created. We're going to add more chains to Osis. We have a lot of work to do, is basically what I'm saying. So let us cook. We have good cooks in the kitchen. They're making really good food, but you have to wait. It's the meals are being prepared for you. If you rush them, you don't want to eat steak that's like pink in the middle, unless you're an animal. Okay? Wait for it to be done. Yeah, so there's this work. Yeah, we wrote a whole book. It's here. But oh yeah, so wait, there's other questions. While you scroll through this, we can answer some more. The only cook you try. Hey man. I mean, that's understandable. You never seen us cook before. Jalal's a great cook, but just so you know. Any date on Mail? I'm super excited for that. Oh yeah. Mail is directly attached to Vault. So the thing with Mail, this is another capital intensive thing. So an email service, as we jump deeper into the development aspect of things, is going to require probably 2 or more people that we're going to have to hire on the team because of all the edge cases that you need to solve. This is like more of a technical thing. And so as we've bootstrapped everything, we realized that we're dealing with like a time paradox of, okay, well, if we work on email, we won't be able to finish Vault. But if we work on Vault, we won't be able to finish email. So which one will be faster to make, and which one will be unique? Like, as in, we're going to be able to have something that's like sticking to brand as something that's faster than everybody else and as just as safe or safer. And we come to see that is actually Vault. We're gonna have like it's on par with the fastest cloud service system on the planet. And so we're like, okay, let's focus on this. And then we're going to add Mail to that. But Mail, it's hard to give you guys a timeline on Mail just because we also have, with all these partnerships with these other platforms, we want to add their networks to the tokenizer. Because the tokenizer right now, you can only tokenize on Ethereum and Polygon right now, right? So it's like it'll be much more valuable to a person who's maybe in the future, right, who understands tokenization to see that they can tokenize on Base or Tron or Runes, right?
Solana, yeah.
Yeah, Solana, etc. So we want to do that. We've already spoken to a company that we're working with, and obviously Luigi and others on the implementation of this. And so that is a budget, right? Like to do the so we're like putting all these budgets together, and just putting everything together. But the good thing is all the conversations are showing up for these things. There's that. There's mail. I'm actually glad that you're asking these questions because I'm just realizing as I'm talking that I haven't updated y'all on these particular executables, so that's good. But also uh, exchange. So the exchange would be phase three, but it would actually Nils. It would probably happen before mail as well, because exchanges have a proven model. So does mail, but um, the exchange itself has direct synergy with our tokenizer in many ways, and it also provides Osis with the ability, like, to now start to have its currency be a revenue generation thing for everybody. Now that you can start staking currencies on our exchange, that is one of the biggest milestones we're going to be hitting for like literally every single person here. This is what the guys that are not looking at the chart are seeing, or that don't care. They're seeing that, oh shoot, you're gonna make your own exchange, and you're even closer to that than you were before. It's actually a reality now. So they understand that, okay, once you're there, I don't know, 100,000x, 2,000. They don't know. They just know that doing something like that is something that requires like capital, but also
Valuable.
it requires us to like pace ourselves. We have to pace ourselves. Like we have to look at everything that we have going on, and do this dance of like, okay, what's happening in the market, what's happening on our utility side, what affects one more, and we're like, okay, utility is affecting it much more. We need to focus on that instead of hemorrhaging capital on centralized exchanges. We need to start focusing on the whole spirit of decentralization right now. And so that's why like our focus is these like decentralized exchanges. This is why we did the soft launch on Yellow. For
Yep.
those like you all can go there, and you can invite other people there as well. But now we need to, we need to look at it from the perspective of like, it's 2,000 people right now, 1,500 to 2,000 people right now. We're going to turn that to four. Turn it to four. You need some racks. For other platforms, the date for other platforms. Date is hard to say, but what we were going to get a proposal from our dev team, of what it's going to take to get our tokenizer to be on other chains in a 30-day period versus a 60-day versus a 90-day period. Like the price points, like how much money do we have to pay everybody to get that done in 30 days. For example, we're going to be receiving that. Joel, what day? We're going to have a meeting about this, right?
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So yeah, just full disclosure. So Tuesday we're going to be getting that information, and then in terms of email, we don't have a date for that, but that's like completely bootstrapped by our internal team. Vault, that could be at any time, but everybody here can test if you want. You can come in and you can actually like use the app since like the egregious bugs are fixed. Like like you can actually use it for real, and not trip. And so we have Vault. Vault is a pretty big deal for the average guy. You don't even have to know about anything. That doesn't mean you can stake your coin on an exchange. Jalal, does it mean we can actually stake Osis itself or other currencies?
You can enable it on any exchange. It's basically people who hold within a certain platform in that model. You can reward people in like passive income, well, passive OSIS rewards. It's actually
Yes.
what Yellow is doing on their platform right now. Everybody that goes in and buys. So for example, uh, so Yellow is a new DEX. They launch. They're well funded, very well funded, and they just recently launched. We've been working with them for months, and one thing that they're doing is with every new token that lists in their platform, they're like a multi-chain decentralized exchange. They run trading competitions, they run holding competitions, they just promote that specific project, which ultimately promotes their whole platform. But uh, people who hold their currencies in their platform get rewarded with passive airdrops that come in on a daily basis. So, for example, the last company that they promoted was Lube. Lube is on the Linnea network, which is a super specific niche network, pretty
It's
small.
small, but it's
And
cool.
yeah, so in the last 2 weeks, they rewarded $15,000 worth of their token to all the people who were in the platform. 1,500 new holders showed up for them, and those 1,500 new people who bought Lube were just passively rewarded on a daily basis. Now, stepping into Osis being listed as the next project, which is I think the 11th token on their entire platform. They have 50 more coming. Um, it's so people who go in and buy and stake Osis, well, essentially you're holding Osis on their platform, receive some some level of daily rewards for being in their platform. And so you can consider that staking. It's a long-term way to reward people.
Yeah, as Monk it stated right there, it's the utility of hold like, for people actually holding, like hodling, like there you go. So that's like a taste into what's going to be happening when we create our own exchange and put it out, is what we're doing with Yellow. It's like that's why I called it a preliminary listing or like an exhibition one, because it's like this is what you're going to be visualizing in terms of what we do with us. And since we have a tokenizer that we built, people are going to be able to make their own tokens and do the same thing on our exchange with their own currency. So it's like, whoa, what just happened? That's that's going the click is going to happen for like a ton of people. And you can imagine our chart potentially looking like what you saw with Tron, where when that click moment happens, everyone just jumps on. And the people that just stuck around and decided to not freak out about the daily get to actually reap, what they sowed.
History has shown that 2 months is not indicative of anything. Things that are alive for 2 months. Imagine a baby. Would you say this baby is good or bad based on 2 months?
I mean, we could, but I'm sure.
You could say, yeah,
Yeah.
you could say a few things, but for the most part, you let a baby mature a little bit and get
Yeah.
to the next phase. Now, what is the purpose of that thing that launched and it's 2 months in? And you have to really look at the long-term perspective of it. Imagine if Tron had 3,800 holders after a year. Imagine if they were like, or if they quit, imagine if their team quit based on that. If their team was like, you know what, I guess people don't like Tron. We've been stuck at a fraction of a penny forever. Or imagine if the people who are holding Tron were like, oh, this thing sucks. It's only done this much in one full year. And they just left. I mean, most people did that with Bitcoin. People were like, oh, this is just never gonna go anywhere.
No,
This is not.
almost everyone did that with Bitcoin. That's actually the truth. Almost everybody left Bitcoin. If you look at its past, it like almost everyone gave up on it. The only people that stuck to it were two groups of people, or three people who were buying like things in the black market because they're in countries that were like war torn or whatever. And then you had like people doing the bad shady stuff in those markets that were using Bitcoin to make transactions. And then you had miners. Those are the
Yeah.
only people. There are some holders that were like Bitcoin like believers and that, but you could probably count those people on your hand at the time.
There's the dude who was on
Yeah,
CNN, I forget his name, who bought
yeah.
two pizzas. He bought two large pizzas and he was like, whatever, I'll just throw my Bitcoin away at it. And he gave 10,000 Bitcoin to the two large pizzas. It's like it's like we've seen this, history repeats itself. What was the purpose of these things, whether it's Tron or Ethereum or Bitcoin or Osis, long term? People are get so caught up in like the craze and the mania of what is today, and they don't realize what is the underlying asset that brings the value to something in the big picture. What is the aspect of it that is going to attract a larger number of people to support it? And this is something that I want to like really, really hone in on for everybody that's watching, everyone that's an existing part of the community who wants perspective and wants a new paradigm towards this. I know a lot of people have been just focused, hyper focused on the chart
Oh,
looking at
and
stuff.
Jalal, for just as you continue, I don't want to cut you off and then you stop. But for some here, it might sound like we're being repetitive, but the reason we are speaking these things constantly is because we know that new people come into these chats all the time, and so just as you've seen others, maybe streamers and stuff, that you have to like you don't want to be like, oh, I've heard enough, I'm out of here. We have to repeat like enough for new people who are coming in who have maybe, for example, not shown up for a month and are like, what's going on? Like and then they hear it for the first time. So that's why Jalal is saying this. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, Monk, for you, because I know you've heard this a lot. It's like, well, there's people I know for a fact that are coming into this chat right now or in this live that I've never heard this before.
I
I'm yeah. So
I
Jalal,
just
I
saw.
mean, say what?
Yeah, that's exactly why. I just saw more than 15 people show up on Twitter, like in the last couple minutes. So hey,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Um, to finish the thought, underlying value, underlying asset, bigger picture, long-term perspective, so you can cool down, take a step back, de-stress, and focus on what it is that will build value. And so this is directly related to the video that I dropped yesterday. Something for everyone to understand. For example, Osis Vault, only one part of the entire ecosystem. And I'll do one better. I'll show you the entire ecosystem, and then I'll show you Osis Vault in a couple minute video.
Yeah, and Jalal, to that point that we just said, I think since the video is recorded and everybody can see it, now we can. I don't want to talk about that no more. Personally, I want to focus on everything else moving forward,
Mhm.
because it's like I think it's very clear to those who have been wondering now that they've gotten to hear it that like, yo, like while others are freaking out, every other company and every other person that's like is get able to see the outside and see the internal of what's going on with us is like just here, and there's reasons for that.
This is Chris and Jalal. Alongside a team, they're working on a project called Osis. You may have heard of the words crypto or blockchain, and you might not trust it. Well, I don't blame you. This space can be highly chaotic, disconnected, discombobulated, and frankly, sometimes a bit sketchy. You see, Osis is going to fix this. They're making this new technology accessible and easy to navigate through the implementation of 6 core tools. You got the tokenizer, easily create your own currency or NFT in seconds. The dashboard, manage and monetize what you create. Your wallet, think of this as your bank account except only you have control over it. You got the exchange, a marketplace where the community votes on which projects get listed. The vault, a new, better alternative to storing your files securely. Then you have mail. This is your form of communication. And at the heart of all these blockchain apps is you, your own secure profile that allows you to maneuver around the space safely. But let's not forget where we came from. Bitcoin started this way by decentralizing money, and along with it came a new market, bringing trillions of dollars. Then Ethereum came in and added the ability to make apps on the blockchain. The uses for this technology expanded, and now Osis is making it accessible for everyone in the world to participate in the greatest transfer of wealth in history. I don't want to tell you what to do, but you should probably get involved.
That's the man, Ollie. He yeah, the dope content. Oh, you guys get to see what Jalal watches. um, but yeah, it's that harping on the mention of what's happening with Osis. That's what we're gonna be doing now. From here on out, everybody in here, we're talking about the value of what Osis brings to the table. We are no longer going to be comparing ourselves with other things that are happening to spell it out. The people that can do that is going to be y'all, the community. You guys have been a part of this for a while, and for those who are just coming in, you got to hear the comparisons as well. We invite you guys to, whatever communities that you currently exist in, whether that be on Reddit or Twitch or Facebook or Instagram, wherever communities you guys like exist in, like to just spread the word, share, give people a heads up that we're about to get on decentralized exchanges, and when there's word on the date, that they should know about what we are doing. Right? Just be casual. Don't have to spend like hours a day on that unless you feel like it. Like we're not going to stop you guys from doing that, but essentially, like Osis is not a project that. Then this is what people have learned over the last 60 days. That Osis is not a project you want to bet against. That's what people basically figured out from the 2 years into the last 2 months. People are now starting to be like, I want to bet against that again. And the reason for this is because we were finally able to start putting pieces together with limited resources. And so now people are like, okay, they're starting to try to give us the resources that we need in order to make everything work. To make the blockchain, for example, Osis is going to need to raise like $200 to $300 million, just so you know. Like our real world asset blockchain, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be required for us to get to the levels that we're seeking. And so we're doing this sequentially. And we're proving ourselves like one step at a time through the creation of actual products that show that we mean something. Before this, it was all like people jumped in on the belief of who we were, which we've appreciate deeply, but that's not enough. Like just because I say something doesn't mean it's true. I need to show you, right? And so from Mexico to showing Guinness and showing like the people out there that like it's real. You can act, the coder doesn't need to sit there now and spend hours to make someone's currency. If you guys were there, if some of you guys were literally there while Adan and I were like doing a demonstration in front of a bunch of people on a what do you call that, like a projector, like literally doing the whole thing, like the whole process of tokenizing. If you guys, I wish, I think Ollie was recording it, but I wish there was someone that had the camera on people's faces, like when that happened. Like, because the people that are internal that have been looking at this space for a long time, their jaws were dropped. Everyone was like, "What the heck is this?" And there's a reason for that. For those who don't know about the tokenization space, that was our turnaround moment. That was the moment for us in Monterey, where we knew it was a wrap. Where this is that we finally broke through, and so now that we're through the door, just wait for it. Now it's capital time. Fundraise. After funds raised, boom, get on Uniswap. While we're on Uniswap, we're also building more products. We're also building more like building our community, right? We're building more into it. We're like locking arms with like the best platforms that we could ever hope to get on with. So I think that's basically it. That's all I got to share for now. I think the next kind of conversations that we can have would potentially be more timeline based, maybe, and maybe other exciting like conversations. Again, for the people who have been looking to see what's going on with Angelo, I think I can say this. And again, for those, some of you probably already heard this, but this is like individual conversations and stuff for questions that were asked. Angelo is trying to raise capital with institutional investors. This is not like Comunitas or like pools, where it was like KOLs and just like community people that like a bunch of guys that are just like throwing in like $500, $1,000, $2,000, where like you see a raise happen in a few minutes to hours and stuff. This is different. This is going to be a raise that is like, oh, this firm wants to put this much in and have their tokens locked for X amount of time. You're gonna see bigger tranches go into that over the course of like a couple weeks, right? So that's that raise, but we're not stuck to just that one. We're gonna be doing more. So we're raising capital. It's not like a community raise. If people want to contribute to that, that's fine. But we have it together. You guys just be patient with us, and we're gonna get that done for you. And then we're gonna have our products be built at scale. We need more people on board. In order to create something like an exchange, we're going to need more hands on deck. We're probably going to need like 6 to 10 developers. So of course they're going to all have to get paid. They're all going to need to eat. So those are the things that we're focusing on in order to make sure that Osis is what it's intended to be. So without saying any more, I would love to say Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for popping in. I can't see the other chats on like Twitter and Instagram, but if y'all have more questions or anything that you want to add, anything that you think would be something for the community to hear about, or a discrepancy, whatever concerns, love to share, feel free to send it in here or communicate later on. Yeah. So Jalal, I see that you're off. I would say the call is done, but I
Yes, sir.
can't leave it.
No, we're good. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We're gonna release some more content very soon.
Mhm.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care, everybody.